Welcome to Tune to Life. And today we're going to be talking about something that's in the papers and all sorts of it. Is the English countryside too white? Now, I had to stop for a minute and think about this because lots of things, it brought up lots of ideas and lots of experiences I've had before in the past. Now, getting straight to it, first thing I think, is the English side too white? Is the English countryside too white? Thinking about it, you think, well, hold on. Let's start with this. If I travel to the Caribbean,
that's right.
Is the Caribbean too black? Or Jamaica? Is it too Jamaican, or is it Saint Lucian? Is it too Saint Lucian, or is it too Antiguan, or whatever it is? If I travel to Southeast Asia, is Vietnamese? Is Vietnam too Vietnamese? Is Thailand too Thai?
Thai, that's right, yeah.
Is Indonesia too Indonesian? Is China too Chinese?
I know.
It's that now I start to sound stupid.
And of course, and that's it, yeah.
Now I start to sound, who the hell is coming up with this bollocks? Honestly, who is sat there and thinking about this rubbish? Who's sitting there scratching their head, wasting money,
there is money,
working out this crap? It's crap, straight up. And what it does, in terms of dealing with things like race and whatever, it just adds fuel to the fire for the people who are racist.
That's right.
Yeah. It adds fuel to the fire because it's winding them up.
Yeah.
And also, if you are racist anyway, don't worry, it's winding you up, but it's also winding us up.
That's right, yeah. Creating further divide.
Because it's stupid.
Yeah. Yes.
Who's sitting there working this out?
I'm going to come on to that.
Who's sitting there, because we've gone through this, right? It says here that perception and representation, right? Now, hold on. Now, I've been here more or less all my life. All my life, UK, right? And back in the day, when you go to the countryside, you get peculiar looks.
That's right, yeah.
One or two people you could definitely tell that they didn't want you there. You didn't belong. Yeah, that happened. But then back in the day, that would happen in London or any other inner city area or in the countryside. It would happen anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? Now, there were times where even much later you go there and some people may give you the odd look, or you go in a pub. And I never used to really go in pubs because you would get funny looks and so on. So it wasn't a place that you would just go in and frequent, you see. But, back then, you would go in there. Some people were okay.
That's right.
Some people were quite welcoming and nice.
And having a conversation and all
that
kind of bits.
And some people weren't, the mixed match, whatever it is.
That's right, yeah.
But you would go to the countryside, whether it be a National Heritage Site or something like that, wherever. There's loads of places.
That's right, yeah.
Like Lake District or Cotswolds or wherever it might be. Wherever it might be, where there's beautiful countryside, Cornwall, whatever it is. And you'd find some people were really nice, welcoming. One or two people would look at you in a very strange way. And you'd have these mixed bag of experiences. Sometimes nothing, sometimes you'd have something. But I never expected to go there and see like a Caribbean restaurant. Right? I'd never go there.
Selling patties.
Selling patties or jerk shack or anything like that. I'd never go there and expect to see that.
No.
Or wanting that there to be there.
That's right.
Because I'm not going to something that's quintessentially English.
That's right.
So I'm going to see a building of historic value.
That's right.
I'm going to see the landscape. I'm going to enjoy what I enjoy.
And also part of that would be the cuisine too. There'd be kind of Pacific cuisine, like pies or something like that. That you
go somewhere like you're saying, like pie and mash.
Stuff like that. You
have that.
That's tradition, isn't it?
That's
right.
Tradition. And you expect to see that. Like whether it's there are places where they'll do cream teas.
That's right.
That's part of the tradition.
That's right.
And you expect to see that and go for the experience.
That's right.
Yeah, sometimes people can be a bit awkward with you. Yes, people can have these little microaggressions, whatever it is. It is what it is.
That's right, yep.
I'm not saying that it's all right.
That's right. No,
I'm not saying it's good.
Yeah.
I'm saying it exists.
That's right.
And that, you got broad shoulders, you take it on and deal with it when it comes to you.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You deal with it. By dealing with it, I'm not just saying just deal with it as in just accept
man
it.
up or whatever.
Challenge it.
You
challenge it, saying, listen, but that should not stop you from going to these places and experiencing what it is. And you know,
and another thing also, I think that, because when I think about the fact that I've gone to kind of many different places, kind of countryside and stuff, but to say that every time I've gone, I've experienced that. No, sometimes I've gone, I've had a really pleasant experience. Sometimes, yes, I have had those experiences. So then, just to kind of have this kind of blanket view that actually all the countryside white is racist. I'm like, what? No, it isn't.
And they're not really saying, is it too white?
Yeah, too white.
I mean,
too white,
where they get that shit from? And I'm sorry, I'm to use these terms, but where they getting that from? Where they getting that from?
Yeah. It's just,
you know, it's just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And I'm looking at here. I was trying to find out who's saying this, what body of people are saying this, and whatever it is. And I'm looking at this here now.
Did you find out?
And well, yeah. Is it Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, DEFRA, research organisations, University of Leicester has identified English countryside as being overwhelmingly white. And it, I mean, like, really, they took time and money
to produce this.
to work that out.
Yeah.
It's like me researching. I buy half a dozen eggs and I spend thousands of pounds to work out that they're actually eggs in the box. Where is this going? Yeah. Where is all this stuff going? Yeah. Who's doing this? Who's wasting the money? Because I don't know anybody that's ever been asked by them. I've never been asked by them. I'm wondering what type of idiots are there. I'm sorry, I'm calling them out. It's stupid. Yeah. It's a stupid piece of research.
Well, it's the rural racism.
I just read it out.
Project. Okay.
It's stupid.
Yeah,
it's stupid, and they're going on about lack of inclusivity. Concerns have been raised that rural areas, particularly protected landscapes and national parks, primarily cater to white middle-class culture, focusing on traditional pubs and lacking amenities like diverse food options or prayer spaces. Hold on.
I know.
Hold on. If I go into the countryside, I expect to see the food that is indigenous to that local area.
That's right, reflects that.
That's what I want.
That's right.
If I go there and I see food that I don't like, I might bring a packed lunch.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not going to start complaining that they should be serving this or serving that, because they're supposed to have the food that they have in their area.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
End of. So if I go on holiday, all right, and I go to wherever it might be, wherever in the world it might be, so I go to Italy. Right? Italy has got a lot of Italians.
That's right.
Yeah. Right? And in Italy, they have Italian food.
That's right.
So if I go on holiday, or other people go on holiday there, or other people start living there, hello? You're going to start complaining that there's Italian food there. And you're in Italy. What type of foolishness is that?
I know.
Absolute rubbish. Rubbish. It's to a point where it's just bonkers. And then you start saying, right, okay, so I now want more Caribbean food there. I want African food there.
Where do you stop? Where do you stop?
And the thing is again, where do you stop? Because there are people from all over the world.
That's right.
Yeah. So when you go there, you must cater for every type of food, so for anybody that could possibly ever be there. So then you say prayer spaces. Why the hell do you need prayer spaces? I'm sorry. This is getting stupid. Why do you need prayer spaces? Yeah. Because if you do that, then you're going to have synagogues. I know what it's rating to is like Muslim prayer spaces. Then you have to have synagogues. Then you're going to have places for Hindu prayer. Then you have to have places for Buddhist maybe. Maybe you have this. Where do you stop?
Where does stop right now? Yeah.
Where does it stop?
Yeah.
Because everybody could argue that they would require something specific.
That's right.
For their needs.
That's right.
But hold on. This is an English countryside space.
That's right.
Period.
Yeah.
And I know people can shoot me down saying, well, look, you're saying that people of other cultures can't be English. I'm not saying that.
That's right.
I'm saying that this is an English space.
That's right, yeah.
And therefore, that's what you go and see.
That's right, yeah.
That's what you go and see.
Yeah. And I think another thing here, Andrew, I think also is that what we do see is that you may have particular people of academia that may be kind of expressing these kind of sentiments. And I think it's funny because I was talking to a few Asian guys about this very same thing, and they were like, "No, we don't expect. We don't expect our needs to be projected within the countryside area. No, we understand that this is a white area and therefore reflects the traditions of that area, And
Exactly.
I think the concern I think is that what happens is that it's deemed that the people from the Asian community, that everybody is talking that they want this. And actually that one person that may have expressed that view doesn't express the view of the whole community.
No, it doesn't.
You
It
know?
doesn't. And the thing is about as well, look, I've heard some discussions about it saying that, and people say, oh, when I go to countryside, people will, look, some people will look at you. Some people, not all,
yeah.
some people will look at you and go, oh, that's interesting. Some people look at you out of curiosity.
That's right.
Some people look at you out of deference, really. Some people look at you in a way to say, like, what you doing here?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah? You do get that.
You do, yeah.
But to go home crying about it and throwing your toys out the cot, you got to say to yourself, well, hold on. You can go to another country, all right?
That's right.
On holiday, and they've never seen a black person before. And they will look at you and they'll be curious. You get the same reaction again.
Without a doubt.
You get the same reaction again.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That doesn't stop me from traveling. I'll travel all over the place.
That's right, yeah.
And it has stopped me from traveling.
That's right, yeah.
And I think that there is something here, they put safety and welcome. Some studies include findings from University of Leicester's Centre for Hate Studies.
That's right, yeah.
Highlight that while rarely malicious, rural areas can feel exclusionary, with visitors of colour sometimes experiencing real racism or feeling they stand out. Of course you're going to stand out. Of course you're going to stand out. Yeah, rural racism. People might look at you and like, look, you can have experiences. It's not going to put you off. If you're going to be so sensitive to it.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day. Yeah. If somebody, bottom line is this. You are not going to stamp out racism by just putting, a blooming halal.
That's the thing.
A food shop there,
sends
prayer
a wrong
rooms,
message.
Building a mosque next to a building, or building a synagogue there, or building a Buddhist prayer space there. And you don't stamp out racism by doing that, by just building lots of buildings there, putting a jerk shack, rise of peas, whatever, putting these places in these. It's not going to stamp it out.
No, it's not.
You just create more animosity.
More division. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. All that you really need from these spaces for people to be educated to a degree and to be taught, some of them, that it's a good thing if people come in and visit, because it brings tourism, it brings money, and it brings prosperity to the environment. So that's what people should be told, and welcoming people and being welcoming. However, remember, this is not about heritage sites or these are about people that live in the community.
Area, that's right. In their area.
Yeah,
that's right.
They live there.
That's right.
So you can't, if you like, you can't have a jurisdiction over people's emotions and feelings. Yeah, you can't prescribe how they should feel when they see you. You can't do that.
Yeah.
That is just their ignorance.
That's right.
All right? That's just their ignorance. You can't prescribe for it. Can't say, right, I know because you don't like black people there, we're going to move in 4,000 black people there. Because you don't like Asians, we're going to move in 4,000 Muslims over there. And then now it's all mixed, now you're going to have to like them. What are you talking about? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but and you know what though? I also think it speaks for diversity, or the lack of diversity, because diversity is about actually looking at differences and celebrating those things.
Yeah, but look, we're talking about diversity. Look, you've got to understand how the countryside works and how things came about in this country.
Yeah.
Now, there's always been black people living here, but in port areas like Bristol, Liverpool, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
But when the biggest modern day sort of 20th century wave of people coming in was certainly in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, maybe 70s as well, really.
Okay.
Now, when people moved in, where they go? They went to the city areas where there were already established communities.
That's right.
And they would go there because they could have access to the food that they were
That's
used
right.
to,
Religion,
to skin
centres,
products,
yeah.
to hair products,
Yeah.
to community
Resources.
resources,
Yeah.
and also feeling a closeness and a kinship
Connection
to other people
that
that looks like
reflect
them.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
why they in the areas.
That's
They
right.
wouldn't go to the countryside
That's
because
right.
number one, you couldn't get your hair cut there. Who's going to cut your hair? Right? What type of food products
could
can you
eat.
get there? You can't
right,
get
yeah.
that there, etc. That's why people didn't go out there.
That makes sense.
Right? Period.
Yeah.
Didn't go out there. Now, people back in the day, I'm talking about 30, 40, 50 years ago, would go maybe in groups to see. Sometimes people were attached to churches and they would take a church visit out to a countryside
that's right,
area,
yeah.
whatever it is, and look around a site or do this, do that, and they would go on and they would see. But people wouldn't go out there just say,
just by themselves as such.
not really. Some may do.
Yeah.
Some may do.
Yeah.
But people would look and people would stare because they wouldn't have seen. I remember going,
Yeah.
I can't remember where I was, years ago, when I was a kid. And my parents took me somewhere, I don't know where it was again.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But I remember talking to this other kid and he was fascinated. He was staring and staring and staring and staring at me. I remember we got talking.
Yeah,
He said,
yeah.
He goes to me, "Are you black?" And I said, he said no, in those days, it was said coloured. You coloured.
Coloured, yeah, coloured.
I said, yeah. He goes, so I've never seen it like that before.
Wow.
He goes, can I touch your hair?
Wow.
You know, because he'd never seen it before. So there was that curiosity for that kid.
Yeah, no, natural too. That's a natural thing to do.
And I remember going, because my mum and dad used to go places from time to time. And they used to go like, you know, whether it's to Portsmouth or to Hastings or to they used to go around Oxford,
outside of your kind of your particular urban area that you understand.
Go there for day trips.
No, I hear that. That's what my family used to do.
And people used to look
yeah.
sometimes. And my mum would say, pay them no mind, pay them no mind. Don't look at them, don't worry about them. And it would go. And so I got sort of used to that.
That's
and some
right.
people were, I remember some people were nice.
Yes, that's right.
And some people weren't nice.
That's right, yep.
But I didn't put my mum off. I'll tell you, it didn't put her off. Yeah. But the point is that that was then.
Yeah.
And it still exists today. I mean, just remember the day we went down to look at that place.
Yeah.
Where was it? It's near Hemel, isn't it?
Yeah, Berkhamsted.
Berkhamsted,
yeah.
And so just explain to the people about it rather than talking about it.
Yeah.
So we went for our podcast to look at
the
Devil's Bridge.
That's it, Devil's Bridge.
And we were talking about does a paranormal exist? What is a paranormal exactly?
That's right.
So we did that. And that's yet to be released, that one. Anyway, we went down there as part of our thing because they said that went to a few sites, and that one in particular. Now, this Devil's Bridge is in Berkhamsted, just Berkhamsted crossing Hemel.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? Just in between, roundabouts there. A lot of you may know it, but it's a very interesting place. So they say when you get there, you can feel that it's haunted. You can feel the vibes.
That's
you feel
right, yeah.
So we thought, let's go and test it and see if it's real.
Yeah.
We didn't go at night. We didn't go at night. We didn't
Hell no.
We went during the daytime.
Where we could see the
It's taking this to a joke. Yeah. We didn't go at night time. I mean, it's dark. Yeah, even the daytime is dark.
I know it was.
Damn.
I know it's crazy.
It was dark even in the day. Anyway, so we went down there. Now, we're going to it's quite funny, right? So we're driving down there and we're a smart casual.
That's right, yeah.
Right? Smart casual. And with our phones, and we come out, we find the spot because it wasn't that easy to find.
No, was it?
But we found it in the end. So it's actually in a sort of a cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac, yeah,
so
like
you drive in, it goes in the cul-de-sac, and then sort of about 200 yards up the road, there it is.
That's right,
it's like it's just this pathway. With a bridge, as you can see it in the distance. Yeah, and it's all covered by moss
and all that kind of stuff. That's right.
So and anyway, so we parked the car. We're looking around, thinking, "Oh, okay, it must be up there."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we parked our cars, and our cars weren't beat up cars.
No.
They were pretty nice enough cars.
Yeah.
and we're dressed smart casual. Not like we're hoodies and that. We're just smart casual, looking, as two mature men.
And that's a mature men too, that. You're right. Yeah, very
mature
much so.
men
Yeah.
dress up quite smart.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we come out the car. Now, as we're walking up, there is this person.
Well, there's the houses on the side, wasn't there? There's houses on the side.
Yeah, there was houses on the other side.
Two houses,
so
mate.
one side, there was no houses.
That's right,
It's like a wall, and it led out to some sort of field or whatever
fields,
it was.
yeah.
On the other side, there were houses, and they weren't close to the actual cul-de-sac road. They were back off a little bit. They had a front garden, whatever. So anyway, without going into too much of that, there's a woman cutting her hedge.
Yeah.
She's cutting her hedge. She sees us. She looked, did not make a real assessment as whether she was going to approach us or not. She immediately saw two men. Now, come on, we know how this works. Two black men, right? Hello, can I help you? What are you doing here? Who have you come to see? And I'm like, oh my God, you could hear the pressure of speech, yeah? And you could hear us like elated and getting whatever. And like, hold on. So I said, Frankie, don't say anything. Just ignore her. Just ignore her.
Yeah.
And because she's not standing near us, she's calling out from a little way, from about 30 yards away, 40 yards away.
Right.
So we're not paying her attention and are walking past. Hello.
You've ignored me.
I said, and all I turned and said, well, fine, thank you. And continue walking. Now we're continuing walking.
That's right, yeah.
Right? Now, as I'm walking, she puts down her clippers.
That's right, yeah.
And starts to follow us.
That's right, yeah. It's madness, isn't it?
It's mad. Starts to follow us.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as if we were confused where we were going.
That's right.
Or we were hanging around suspiciously. We parked the car as close as we can next to the hedge other side. Not next to our house, but the other side. And so she went to follow us. So she's shouting out so much that this guy is outside his house, decides to come out and look and see what's going on. Because he can hear his neighbour. Hello, where are you? What are you doing? And whatever. So he comes out and then he says to her, he says, oh, so I said to him, I approached him straight because I knew what was going on. I knew exactly what was going on. So I said to him, oh, good afternoon. I said, do you know where the Devil's Bridge is? And he said, oh, it's just up there. Because, I hear it's got a lot of history attached to it, whatever. And so this guy was so happy to divulge the history and tell us what's going on. And he was really helpful and a really nice guy.
He was.
So he starts talking to us. Now, as she's walking up, trying to catch up now, she sees that we're engaged in conversation with this man.
Right, yeah.
She stops and then says hello to him and goes, oh, hello, whatever his name is. And they got hello back. And then she turns around and walks off.
That's right, yeah.
So he explains this to us. We're like, okay, fine, we go off again. Now we thought to ourselves, well, hold on. Now, we just arrived.
That's right.
Guys, we just arrived.
Just arrived.
So we walk, after the conversation, we thank him. We walk up to the Devil's Bridge, looking at it and thinking, do we feel this? Now, as we're there, about 2-3 minutes later, people start walking through.
That's right, yep.
And walking past her.
That's right. And nothing mentioned nothing.
She didn't bat an eyelid.
That's right.
And all the people that were walking past were white.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We would spot the black.
And they didn't live there.
That's right, yeah.
They were just rambling.
That's right.
And so we knew what that was about.
Of course, clearly.
Yeah, we knew what that was about. But yes, so it exists. But this is the point I'm making.
Yeah.
We knew what that was about. I ignored it. I wasn't going to give her any time about trying to argue with her as to why I'm there. Just ignore her. Yeah, fine, thank you. Hold my head straight and keep walking. Ignore her. Not giving her any ammunition, any power, nothing.
Nothing at all, that's
all right. And I now dealt with that. And the funny thing is, is that this is what we're talking about when you can experience these things. But there's the other side of it, is that would that put me off from going there again? No.
No, wouldn't. No.
I don't care.
That's right.
Whether somebody behaves that way or not, because it just shows their ignorance. That person looks at them as ignorant, stupid.
Yeah. And I think, Andrew, that there's a skill set that perhaps people may not understand, that took place there at that in terms of
Yeah,
experience. To be able to manage that.
That's because I'm used to having to deal with that. I know what that is.
That's right. Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and I think that a lot of people, and I'm not going to call it out, maybe a lot of Asian people, people that are new to this country, or people of Muslim religion, whatever, aren't used to dealing with it, don't know how to deal with it.
That's right.
So when they go somewhere, they think, oh, I'm sending out whatever it is. But if you're bringing a way and a behavior that's going to make you stand out more,
that's right, yeah.
then you're asking, you're going to get that attention.
No, you are. Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
But at the same time, sometimes just being human can bring the attention.
That's right, yeah, you can.
But you can't add to it. You can't then go off and say, oh, now we're going to change the way how the country is, because that's stupid.
No.
That's stupid.
No. And as I said, it creates a divide. It creates a narrative that actually people, they're like, well, hold on a sec here. And this is in my neighborhood, and they're going to be coming here. So there's talks about dogs being on leads now, because that has to be controlled.
Yeah, no, but remember, let's get into that one.
Yeah.
Let's get into that. All right, now this is a fact. I have been going to countryside for decades.
Yeah.
Up and down, here and there. And I can say quite happily from my experience that the majority of times, the 90% of the times I've gone, I've never had any problems.
Yeah, definitely.
No problem at all. I've enjoyed my experience and had a great time. Never had a problem. 10% of the time, yes, there have been incidents, there's been this, there's been that, it is. And when it comes to dogs, there have been instances with dogs, because maybe a dog has never seen a black person like, what the hell? And it's going, and it's, barking.
Yeah.
And then some people can be very slow
in terms of getting
their dog,
no.
to get their dog back, or whatever it is. And that can be an intimidating experience. So if the person who owns a dog is not liking you because of not like what they see, and that can be a harrowing experience. That can be difficult.
Actually, no, I get
Granted, 100%, that can be difficult.
Yeah.
But generally speaking,
but how many times does that really happen?
it doesn't happen often.
It doesn't happen often.
It doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't.
And if dogs, look, if you're in the countryside, let the dogs run.
Yeah.
What are you putting them on a leash for?
No.
There's a big 30-acre area of space. Why is a dog on a leash for? Yeah. Let it run free.
That's right.
It's only to a degree in London or in an urban area. I think, they need to have leashes because it's such a populated area. You've got roads and you've got people and you've got this, you've got that.
Hazards and
hazards and stuff.
Of course.
But if the dog's not trained, and some people don't train their dogs. See, if a dog's trained well, even if it's not on a leash, it's fine because it's trained.
That's right.
See, the problem is, just talking about what we're on.
Yeah.
I don't think some people are just naturally frightened of dogs.
Yeah.
All right? I am not frightened of dogs, but I'm aware of dogs that haven't been trained. Particularly of dogs that are powerful that aren't trained. Because you can see there's in their behavior that they're just wild. They're not trained, and the person left on the leash, and they're not friendly.
That's right, yeah.
And they're going after other dogs. They're just wild, and the person thinks, oh, he doesn't bite. And you think like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and there's almost a desensitivity about their dog and the threat that poses on somebody else.
Exactly. So I think that, and I think, my personal opinion, that's a problem with the owner. It's a problem with the way the government looks at it. I think if there are certain dogs, I think people should not be able to buy that dog or own a dog unless the dog has been a certain amount of hours of training, certain amount of hours of training.
Yeah, I don't know how that'd be policed though. I don't know how that'd be policed.
Well, when you buy the dog.
Okay, so there's this kind of certificate or something.
Yeah, something like that. You have to go online and register it.
Okay.
It'd be easy. It'd be easy to do that. Easy. It'd be easy to do that. In certain types of dogs that are quite powerful, that are a bit more boisterous, when a person sells that dog, they should be a registered person to be able to sell it.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a puppy, they said, right, okay, when it gets this, it has training. Okay. And you have to fill out a form. And you go and do that. And if it's not done, you get a fine. Okay. You get a fine of a few £1,000s. They're going to train that dog.
They're going to train that dog.
Because dog trainers will be busy.
Yeah.
And then that would lower the amount of incidents for other dogs getting harmed
Yeah.
by
That's it.
other,
Yeah.
one. Other dogs get mauled by other dogs.
That's right. Yeah.
And kids getting mauled by dogs.
Yeah.
And other human beings and adults getting mauled by dogs. It reduced those down to really, really
Minute.
low levels, right? And so the countryside, again, if they had that, then it'd be fine. But my point is, it's not a big
No, it's not a big
issue
number
in the
of people. No,
countryside.
of course it's not. Of course it's
right?
not.
So, but
To make it one is just crazy.
yeah,
in itself.
and I do have a you know, look at this. There's another point that the research comes up. Traditional culture. Some argue that rural areas should not be expected to change their traditional, largely white cultural and social character to suit outsiders. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
They shouldn't have to change it.
Yeah.
Why are you changing? I'm going to see something that is British.
That's different, and yeah. I agree with that. I definitely share that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And I think generally you go there for an experience. You go there for something different. You want to see something different. You know what I mean? I think.
Yeah. And that's my you know.
And I think they've got other things like, for example, removing alcohol if on request. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I'm thinking.
What they're asking for?
Yeah, to remove alcohol on request from rooms. You know, if there's alcohol in particular rooms. I mean, okay.
You see, this is where it's getting stupid. I'm sorry. Look, if you have a religion that is very sort of restrictive
That's right.
and has very rigid guidance, don't go to those places.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Don't go. Don't go. You can't expect everyone else
to kind of
who is enjoying that
That's right. Yeah.
not to be able to enjoy that anymore. Look, I don't drink, right? I don't drink alcohol. Because I don't drink, I'm sat in a room. No, you can't drink. No, you can't drink either. No one must drink because I'm not drinking. When I leave the room, then you can drink. What? Who would I think I am? Best for me not to go.
That's right. And also think about it, for example. I mean, I've been to restaurants, I've been to Indian restaurants, Asian restaurants that serve alcohol. So actually, you know.
No, it's not about that. It's about whether they're Muslim or not. Because they could be Hindu.
Yeah.
You can't say that. Put everyone in the same boat.
Okay.
Yeah. But the point is that if I have a religious disposition that is rigid and doesn't allow certain things, right? I should make that decision as an adult whether that's appropriate for me to go or not. Now, if I'm saying I want to go and visit that place, but I want them to stop doing what they do because I want to visit, that's a cheek.
Yeah.
That is next level out of order behavior. That's wrong. Because if you take it away from here, and let's say, I don't know, I go to a particular country somewhere in the world, and they may eat, I don't know, like in some places they might eat monkeys, for example, right? Certain type of monkeys.
Okay.
Now, I might be, that's not my thing.
That's right, yeah.
But
that's a tradition.
That's what it's just
that's their culture.
If I go there and say to them, no, when I'm here, all my mates, we come over here, we don't want you to be eating that because it makes us feel bad, so we want to ban it. That's right, we're going to come and move over. We're moving in, and then you can't have that anymore because we're here and it's against my ethics and my... They'd look at me and think, are you mad?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's happening here now. Now, there is something, we laugh and joke about it. We do laugh and joke about this whole thing, but we've got to look at something here, all right? All these requests, all these types of attitudes, research, and all this crap that they're talking about is really throwing us back.
Of course it is.
We made these small progress steps forward. And people say, oh, it's a continuation of progress. No, it's not.
No, that's right. So
no, it's not. It's creating further divide.
That's right.
Because what it's doing is not building in culture. Sure. Because and we know this about Islam and so on, it's not about a race. It's not about culture. This is about bringing religion into that space.
Yeah.
Your religious preference into something that people want to do. It's like, for example, it's like the next argument would be,
Yeah.
why are you showing all these Hollywood movies? Why are you showing all these? That would be the next argument. These movies have far too much of this.
Too much of that.
You should be from movies like this and like this, and now prescribing what movies are shown in the cinema.
That's right. It's interesting, actually.
That would be the next thing.
Yeah. You know,
But everyone else, no, not to skirt over that.
Yeah.
But then loads of people
yeah.
are then going to be restricted from look at the things that they like to watch because of maybe a religious prescription that they don't
subscribe to.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
It's mad.
No, it's crazy.
And I think there is an issue now, and I think that, you know, if you're taking a very liberal point of view of it, you'll look at it and say, well, but, you know, I think it's getting a bit silly, because if you are a person of color, a black person, right? In the early days, I'm sorry, black people were the ones that fought. And there were some white people as well that came and joined in the bandwagon against racism.
That's right, yeah.
Right? Against discrimination, whatever it is, and so on. And there were some advancements made. There were some good things that came out of it. Still a long way to go. But now there's a different articulation with it. Yeah? Completely different articulation. Now the articulation has moved into religious auspices.
Yes, it has,
Yeah? And saying, and using that as a race issue.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that, and I'm not really happy about that.
Yeah.
Because what it does, it takes away from the real issues to be addressed, and going into things that no one really gives a shit about. Yeah.
And you know, on Andrew, on that point, I mean, I was thinking more about kind of in terms of why that is, and you know, you look at kind of the Asian group in UK, you know, they're the strongest ethnic group, that whole kind of political power. They have persuasion. You know, you talk about, you know, you look at Asian members in power. You talk about politics arena. You look at MPs, councillors, local authorities. You know, they have a lot of sway, a lot of influence. They dictate on votes. Council, you know, and also given that we've also got council elections coming up soon. So sometimes some of these things have a way of being able to position themselves at a particular point in time to, you know, to make sure that actually we can get those votes. The other thing is also is that as an ethnic group, they're the largest or the highest ethnic numbers within UK as a group. And they're quite self-sufficient in terms of finances and those
well, yeah,
things.
no, but not to get into that. I hear you saying, but the reality is this, yeah? It's a body of people exclusively on their own saying, with religious content, saying that it's too white, but we need to bring these religious practices into this whole thing. That's what I find, you know, disheartening, and it's not necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I would, in terms of a body, I mean, yes, I think there are some people that are clearly making that notion, but I wonder, as I said, personally, when I was speaking to other people, they were like, no, we don't agree with this sentiment. We don't agree with this as an Asian person, but we don't agree with this.
I was spoken to many people of different ethnic groups, and they're in agreement, like, leave it alone.
That's right.
We're not concerned about that. That's our concern. We don't want to have these things there and have that thing there. You know, it is what it is.
Yes.
If you go there, you expect to see English countryside. You expect to see English people there. You expect to see white people there. You expect to see this and that, whatever is there. All that you want as a person of color is for someone to welcome you.
That's right.
And not to be racist towards you. End of. That's it. Because you're bringing money to local economy.
That's right.
You're spending, you're doing this, you're doing that. You're making sure that that site or place or spend, you know, has that local economy being boosted by you visiting there.
Right, yeah.
That's all.
That's right, yeah.
You don't need to change it
That's right. Yeah.
so that it makes it more attractive to who?
To who? That's right. That's right. To who? That's right.
To who?
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not being funny. What is a prayer matching to me?
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, that is catering to a particular religious ideology.
That's right. Yeah.
And so my point is, but why does that need to change is my point.
Yeah.
Why does the country need to change? Why do all these sites need to change? Why need to have all these things there? I don't understand why. Because they say they want to attract more people. Why don't you just go?
That's right. Yeah.
Go on a day trip. When you get back home, then you do your prayer. Yeah? Go there. I mean, they said they should be serving halal meat. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I know. Yeah.
You know, I would like them to serve a patty. Escabeche fish. Yeah, stew fish, whatever it is. But they don't sell it down there, mate.
That's right. That's right. You better get on with it, mate.
They don't sell that down there.
That's right.
What you're going to get is a shepherd's pie, a cottage pie.
Yeah,
you're going to get this. You're going to get a beef Wellington. You're going to get this, that business. You're going to get fish and chips. You're going to get that. That's what you expect to see. Yeah. So when you go down there, you know the menu is going to be, potentially could be limited. But now, not really. The menu is going to be more pan-European, more British, more pan-European. Because you have some restaurants there that will do, you know, different things, maybe a pancake or
okay, yeah.
But because a small group of people don't eat that,
that's right. Yeah.
They want food for them. And no. Why? No. Eat what's there. If you can't eat what's there, bring your own food and enjoy it down there. Listen, back in the day, when people used to go on these journeys, right? Let me tell you something. Now, Caribbean people used to say, well, sometimes the English food wouldn't have much flavour, very bland.
Yeah. Some seasoning.
They didn't expect that food there should change. That's how that food was.
That's right, yeah.
Now, some of the kids would go, oh, I'm all right with fish and chips. I like fish and chips.
Yeah.
Or they might have a St. Kidney pie and chips, whatever. They might do that. Yeah. Some might do that. But what the older people used to do is cook their food and bring it in a warmer and eat their food.
In a little Tupperware. Yeah.
In a little Tupperware. No problem.
That's right. It was done. Sorted.
No problem.
Yeah.
So why is it now? Do you want to go there and change it?
Yeah. There's no need for.
You want to go there and change it all there to suit you? It's just stupid. I don't subscribe to it. I don't think it's good. Leave it alone. It's getting too stupid. Leave it the hell alone.
You know what though? I think that these kind of initiatives, I think the concern is that I think that white people may look at these initiatives and think, okay, they favour us, those from ethnic minority backgrounds. But I think they do us a massive disservice.
Of course they do.
Massive disservice.
Well, I just said that. Because they move the issue away from what it should be looking at to something that's inconsequential, that really only affects a small group of people of a particular religious disposition. That's right. Yeah. That's what it does. It makes it a fine point there.
Yeah.
All right? That's what it does. And it's right. This body of people with this religious restriction, that's what we're looking at. Yeah. And if you do that, then you have to look at kosher foods for Jewish people. Then you have to look at other types of food for other people. Yeah. Then other people who make up their own ideas. You have to catch for everything.
That's right.
That's what it boils down to. Yeah. And I think it's stupid. So I know there are 4 million people here, of Asian descent, but that's not necessarily all Muslims. But my point is, I don't make just that debate. What I'm saying is about restriction in that relation to your religion, that you can't go somewhere. And my point is, why don't you just go anyway, bring your own food,
that's right,
and then go home and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. Yeah. As simple as that. You are in a country that is, there's 2 arguments for this, yeah? The UK is I think something like 87% white.
Yeah.
Right? Something like that. Yeah, mid to late 80% white. Yeah. It's not been taken over, although the far right. No, it's not been taken over. Whatever you say is 86% white. All right? That is just how it is. It's not been a takeover. It might feel that way in certain areas. That's because there's a high concentration of a certain groups of people in that area.
That's right.
That's why. But overall, it's still very much white British. And because of that, English countryside is English countryside, and it should be left as it is.
That's right.
Now, the reason why you don't find, as I said, a lot of black or brown people in the countryside, as it were, because they cannot get what they would culturally, use day-to-day basis, like food or this or that, in that little village, in that area. They can't get it. That's why they're not there.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why. Simple as that. But it sounds like as though, what are you going to do? How are you going to change that? So you're going to get somebody to move 150 miles into the countryside to work in there and to live there where they can't get this. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Leave it alone.
Yeah.
You want to visit,
yeah.
You want to change the area to visit, so it's more appealing for you to visit there. Rubbish.
Yeah.
Absolute nonsense. Leave it alone. I don't know where these people are thinking about.
And God knows how much money that costs to actually to do that in terms of the resources, because that must have cost that's a fair penny.
They need to leave that stuff alone. And University of Leicester, that group needs to look at real issues that affect black and brown people, or people who are patently different, visually different, in terms of what's going on maybe in the workplace,
yes, right.
How to better protect jobs, better protect life chances, again, housing, work, the criminal justice system. Put your efforts there and help to balance the system, not look at countrysides and whether countrysides are too distant. Leave that alone because it's rubbish. Put your efforts where it needs to be. That's my message to them.
Yeah.
And not into things that actually are just going to create further animosity. Into the whole thing.
And I think that energy needs to go into creating...
Not energy, the research.
The research needs to go into kind of creating platforms that engage, that get people talking about differences, but feel comfortable in terms of that, talking about that.
Well, I think that's what they're trying to do, but they're going about it the wrong way. That's what they're trying to do, but they're going about it in a completely wrong way. Saying that's what their point is.
But it just affects a particular group of...
Well, we know that. We were going over the same thing again, but it's just...
Yeah.
It's just they're going about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
The wrong way completely. And I think they should leave that alone and focus on other things. That's more important in terms of... I mean, look, we have a situation where in schools, where there schools where, and I think this is my point again. I'm just trying to get my thoughts here. That the educational system, to a degree, has always let down black children. Yeah, to a degree. So there's a bit of stereotyping. They don't have access to appropriate types of mentors, counselling, supportive measures. They don't have access to it in the way they should.
Could do, yes, yeah.
Some do, most don't.
Okay.
Some schools may do that. Some schools just don't, let them fall by the wayside.
That's right.
And then exclude them. All right? And there's little or no support for those kids. So they get excluded and their life opportunity is
diminished.
Yeah. Nothing there. Why don't they spend the time looking at that and trying to level the playing field there and building that sort of understanding or awareness? Oh no, that's gone, you see. That's gone. That's gone. Because there's something significantly different in terms of how people see these things. And I would say now that the narrative moved away from black people. They're sort of not there anymore. in the discussions. Now it's just all brown
But
people because they make up the greater majority.
That's right. I think that's very significant.
And I understand that because there's far more of them than there are of us. And also that narrative has now been usurped. And I say brown people, let's look at this again. We're not just, you have to look within that. You can't just put all people together. This is now broken up again into sort of two groups.
Okay.
One, you got a group of brown people who are Christian, small group. Another group who are Hindu.
Okay, yep.
Another group who are Muslim.
Okay.
Now the brown issue,
that's
has control of the narrative, are people of Muslim religion.
That's right, yeah.
Or Islam. Yeah. So it's their narrative that's being played out now.
That's right, yes, it is, yeah.
Under the guise of black and ethnic minorities.
That's right. Definitely. Yep, under that banner.
Under that banner.
Yeah.
Whereas black people are like, hold on, we're not even talked about anymore. We're not even in the game anymore. No one's really interested in that anymore.
That's right, yeah. That's very much.
And when you hear about issues relating to brown people, you hear only about people of Muslim faith.
That's right, yeah.
And that seems the narrative for all brown people. Yeah. And then when you break that again to another part, you then say, oh, is that all Muslims? No. Even within that, there are some Muslims that say, well, no, we're just doing our thing. We just want to get along, do what we want to do, and just live life. And there's another set where they're a little bit more extreme, if you want to call it that way. A little bit more, rough around the edges, where they're fighting for everything to change to suit their own needs.
That's right.
Everything must change.
That's right.
You see, within that. And I think that's what people aren't recognizing. They're not seeing it. And I think it's very easy. I think with white people, it's just the same way that sometimes as a black person, I know this is going off slightly, but you've got to bear with me.
Yeah.
Sometimes a white person can look at you and say, you look like Lennox Lewis. You look like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
You look like Mike Tyson. You look like Wesley Snipes.
That's right. And you look and you think of them, what?
I don't look anything like them. The only thing we've got in common is that we're black.
Black, that's right. Yeah. They don't see the
they can't tell the difference.
And they can't.
In their mind.
That's right.
So you're all the same.
That's right.
What they're saying is, you're all the same. I can't tell the difference between any of you.
That's right.
And so that sort of narrative falls into the guise of black and ethnic minorities.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So when they say brown people, it's all brown people.
Yeah.
They're not seeing any difference.
Yeah.
They don't even see the point that there's a religious element to the narrative based on the restrictions that they experience. Yeah. And not all, some. They don't see that. You see, that's the...
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, I get that.
And I think that's the problem.
That's it, yeah.
So people who are, I say, very liberal or liberal white people, they've been articulated by sort of brown people who are very staunchly religious or Israeli. They're getting railroaded. And they're trying to be liberal and think, oh, well, I'm trying to understand and da-da-da-da. They're getting railroaded down that road, not recognizing there's an ulterior motive in that.
That's right.
See, that's my opinion. Because black people aren't being discussed anymore.
No.
We're not.
Even not part of that, I'm not even part of that conversation.
The only image left now for black people is black and black crime and knife crime. And black youths walking around with hoodies, and that's it. That is it. That is it. We're not even a subject anymore. A topic. Yeah. And you can say that is the fault of who? Our own people, our own young people. That's their fault. They let that happen.
What do you mean by that?
Let me tell you why I believe that. Because when, adversity, trauma, and difficulties can pull people together.
Yeah.
And it did. It did exactly that. And these traumas and difficulties pull people together and let them work together to fight for a common cause, fight for change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something happened across the pond over in America and other places.
Okay.
They came together to fight for a cause.
Yeah, yeah.
Now the cause has not been identified anymore. The cause is gone. There is no cause anymore for young people. Where young people should pick up the baton and run with it to further address the needs of the black community to move forward. That has not been addressed. What you have is just the odd one or two people who will articulate facts and circumstances. And what's happened very cleverly, and I see this in a very clever way, is that you have one or two black people that are very articulate and they fall into the trap. And the trap is statistics. Because you can argue a statistic one way or the other way, 39% of this, 49% of that, 49%, and people go, oh yes, very interesting. Yeah, oh, that's not bad, that's not good. Oh, great. And they shelve it. Next. When black people were arguing for change, did they always address statistics? Not always.
I didn't know.
They dressed it with passion. The fight to change. The desire to change. Not trying to, fight fire with water. Or whatever it might be. I mean, that's a bad analogy.
Yeah.
Bad analogy.
Yeah.
But, what I'm saying is they never... it's like they're never really, back in the day, the argument was, we need this change. I don't care what you say. This must change. I don't care. This has got to change because all the kids here did it and they kept on banging, bang. And the change occurred because of that. But the young ones now, I don't see that. And what I do see...
Do you think that baton's been passed on though, do you think?
No. It's not about being passed on. They never picked it up.
Okay.
Never picked it up. And the reason why, I'm coming to the reason why I believe that, and this is my opinion.
Yeah.
The reason why, because of the illusion of progress. The illusion of progress. And I think that for the first time, in a long time, that black people have had access to a degree of comfort, getting the jobs that they couldn't get into before.
Okay.
Being able to, one or two, be able to buy a house. Be able to buy nice cars, nice clothes, take a holiday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those things are kind of...
And those people should have been the people who would articulate and push the argument. Yeah, who have the ability to do that.
Okay. But they
haven't.
Okay.
Because they're closeted and comfortable.
Okay.
Wrapped up in cotton wool.
See.
Everything's all right now.
Yeah.
Everything's
for me
good now. Yes.
Yes, for me.
For me.
Yes, okay.
Right. And my kids are all right. My kids are going to a nice school.
Okay.
Everything's all right for me.
Yeah.
See. I've got my shit together. Get yours.
Yeah. It's more of a selfish type
of
kind of
so
mindset.
that unilateral bond or whatever is no longer there.
Yeah.
No longer there.
I can see that actually.
Yeah. And what we have now again in that, you can't scoop all black people in there. You've got people from the Caribbean, and a lot of people in the Caribbean population have not been having children.
Yeah.
Not been having children. So there are more older people than there are younger people. And those older people are dying out or moving or going elsewhere. So the population is decreasing, shrinking.
Significantly, that is.
Where they would be the ones who would have argued the point, shrinking. What you do have is the African population increasing.
Growing, that's right, yeah.
And a lot of them never experienced or would have known about what would have happened 40 years ago, 50 years ago. They'd have heard of it, but never experienced it. Yeah. And with the idea now of everything being a bit more free, they see the UK, at least the parents that came here in the 90s, as a land of opportunity, chance where they can get things together.
Yeah.
So issues about race and this is they know it exists and they know there's issues, but let's just try and make it. Let's just try and see what we can do and ignore those other things. So nobody's picked up the baton.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody, because they were just doing what they do. Yeah, and yes, there have been fantastic inroads. For example, in football.
Okay.
40 years ago, what black players were 40 odd years ago, what black players were playing in football? And if there were one or two black people, and who were those people? Were Caribbean. You had one or two like Justin Passion.
Yes,
white.
yeah.
But remember, they were adopted.
Yeah.
By white families. So my point is, it was only Caribbean people in football.
Yeah.
Now, look at football.
Yeah.
Dominated by kids who are dual heritage.
Yep.
And young Africans.
That's right. And African, yeah.
Africans, not Caribbean. Africans.
Yeah.
Period. Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Now, my point I'm making to you is, people then feel there's great progress. No need to complain anymore. I'm doing all right.
That's right.
I'm good.
That's right.
No one's saying, for example, we know that when there's the issue of racism in football, one or two players came up and said,
that's right, yeah.
This and that, but that died down.
Really?
There was nothing carrying on from that.
Yeah.
Nothing carrying on from that. We don't hear about it. There should have been, that should have been carried on by people who have left the game, got money, and could have championed that. Left it. Yeah. And my point is this. So you look at that, so all wishy-washy. I'm putting black people in the blame, but all wishy-washy. Just, I'm all right, Jack. You do your own thing.
Yeah.
Again, in the Asian community, they're much more cohesive.
Yeah.
So the Hindus will do their thing. Muslims will do their thing.
That's right, yeah.
The money stays in the group, which is a good thing.
That's right, yeah.
And they build and they develop.
Yeah.
And the baton has been carried on with them. And they keep pushing. And where's the baton's been coming? Because remember, back in the times of Brick Lane and the issues there, you had, that was in the 80s. Yeah, 70s, 80s. And now, remember, you have a lot of people who are Muslim getting into politics.
Yes, right.
Getting the influence, because they've carried on the baton and pushing.
That's right, yeah.
The issue. But the issue is more based on their religious interests. Yeah. But they're pushing the issue.
Yeah.
And again, that's why they're making really great inroads. Yeah. You see? That's what's going on. But you see, but our cause
it's forgotten.
It's left.
Wow.
In my humble opinion.
No,
I'm giving a very basic
No. I agree.
Viewpoint.
I agree with that. And I can see that.
Yeah.
I think that we've left behind. I mean, God knows where we are.
Yeah.
God knows
because that's not, that baton's not picked up by the younger lot who should be picking up. Because the people of our era, we picked that up. We were doing that. But younger lot, when I say younger, people in their 30s and 40s should have been picking that up and handing that down to their children to really go for it. Now you've got social media, you've got this, you've got that, you've got some things at their disposal. Younger people should be coming together to make a considerable force to really make the changes necessary. And it's not happening because each individual person is thinking, well, I've got mine, I'm all right. It's just about the money, just my bags. I've just got my bags and I've got this, I got, not recognizing that they haven't got any wealth. They haven't got any wealth. See, they haven't got any wealth.
As a community in that sense.
They haven't got any wealth.
Yeah. I can see that. And no power.
No wealth, no power, no influence.
Yeah, definitely.
So you can drive a nice car.
That's right, yeah. You
can pay $3,000 a month for your rent. Someone going, I'm good now. Yeah, look at me. You ain't got no power. You ain't got no influence. You are who you are. Tomorrow things change, you're down in dumps, you're nothing. You see? They need to come together, talk about things, make something happen. I mean, I know there are black businesses that come together, have these networking, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But how long has that been going on for? In different guises? in different guys, quite some guys.
Quite some
It
time.
starts off doing well, then it falls. Starts off, someone else does it, falls. Starts off there, then falls. Because there's no real coming together. There's no power. There's no power. And the power is not just coming together with the business, because you have to influence the business market.
Yeah. From the top, isn't it? And
Can't just come together and say, oh, I'm going to send you. No. It's about doing things on a much larger
scale,
and more sophisticated scale. And it's influencing business, influencing government, influencing local council, getting people in position of power, saying to your children, you need to go into politics, you need to go into this, you need to...
There's no sense of that, is there, at all?
None.
At all. We're dying. We're dinosaurs in that area.
None. And when some get in there,
yeah.
what do we get? What do we get? We get the people, in power who are black, saying, I identify as an Essex girl. Yeah, I don't consider myself as being Nigerian.
Yeah.
That's
a good
you
point,
get Quasi Boateng,
Yes, that's right.
You get Quasi Quentin.
Yes,
Yeah. That's what you get.
Yeah.
People just lost to the wind, like a paper bag blowing about in the air. Just people who are not really identifying and understanding what the issue is to move things along. That's why that for black people isn't changing. Because we need to change that. We're looking for someone to change it for us. And that needs to change there. But that's why you have to give props to the Muslim community, because they're actually putting the change in place. They're making things happen. I mean, they've come out and done this piece of research, right? Putting their religious agenda on the map.
Of course they have.
All right? But you have to say, well, hold on. Wow, a sort of influence.
That is a
to get a university to research that and come at that and making people debate these things and creating sort of change
in policy, government initiatives.
There we go.
Yeah, of course, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
it's a
Very
lot.
powerful. Yeah.
Anyway, I think we've run right out of time. We're going way over time.
That's quite interesting what you said, though.
But
Quite
yeah,
interesting.
but that's a different point I want to make in it. But the conclusion is, no, it's not too white, because we're in UK and it's predominantly white, and therefore that's how it should be.
That's right.
You're in England.
That's right.
That's it. Wouldn't expect it to be any other way. So anyway, if you agree with that, please put it in your comments, whatever. If you disagree and whatever, then please feel free to do so. But please like, share, and subscribe. Keep sharing, telling your friends about us. And yeah, just do that. And please, if you're watching excerpts or whatever it is, watch a full video on YouTube. It really helps us, helps the channel. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.